All right, welcome back, folks, to Overlord Prowler's Round Robin GMA Gaming Summer 2022. We got 3 games tonight, heading into the last one. Phoenix on the blue side taking on Option 12 on the red side. Both these teams sitting at 1-1 as they chase one of those top 2 spots in the standings to eventually qualify for the final. So a crucial matchup either way. There's only 2 spots in those finals, so there's not a lot of margin for error. Any matchups, anything in particular you're looking forward to in this game, Greg?
Something interesting to note, because we've had a fair amount of dino battles, but this is our first queen versus queen battle that we're running into.
Oh,
Perhaps a new dynasty to be established, so that's kind of a neat matchup, although they're obviously not in the same lanes. It'll be interesting to see how this goes. Foe Eden being, a force to be reckoned with. Very, very scary. Eternal known to be very, very good at withstanding that pressure, even if he goes down a fair amount of farm, and still being relevant late game. That said, personally, I feel like Foe Eden may be the scariest top laner in this split, so it'll be interesting to see how he stacks up.
yeah, I would agree with you actually on that assessment. I think Foe Eden is not only just with his ability to carry games, but also his diversity of champion pool, how he can play a tank, and he doesn't have to be the carry, but he can still be very effective in a different role. We've seen the Fizz band actually away from Pistol Crab, I assume here, Seraphine interest on it as well. Worth noting that Queen Elizabeth does have a princess on her side.
That's true.
Booga Queen only has a doctor, and who cares about them? Jinx picked up first pick for the side of Team Phoenix. Malzahar was banned away. This is the first time that we have seen that banned away from Dr. Primidon.
There's so many queens and princesses in this game. I need to see some sort of diagram to establish the lineages.
Yeah, I'd like to know what house they are.
Right. We do not so. So you see the Shaco being locked in here, a Queen Elizabeth special. Banned last week, so we didn't see it then, but this time we're going to get some clown shenanigans, and I really hope she doesn't use that skin I don't like.
Oh, she's absolutely, she's going to,
Yeah.
but yeah, was very effective in that first game that Option 12 won in week 1. Zyra picked up, that was left up. That's, wow, I don't think I've ever actually gotten to see Peach's Zyra across the 3 or 4 splits that we've seen him involved in GMA, but I'm excited to finally see it.
It's usually banned for a reason. He's quite good at it. The concern I have at the moment, obviously, still plenty of champs left to pick here. Option 12 looking very squishy at the moment. They'll need some beef, some frontline for that.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, that was actually sort of a problem we saw last week with Option 12, where they were pretty squishy. It sort of just eventually got run over in their blue side jungle a couple of times. Mixlink picking up the Volibear. That's always been one of his most comfortable champions.
Looks like
Lux pickup could be a flex.
Yeah, it could be.
I always love picking Lux first rotation because of that ability. You always lean one way. You're like, okay, that's not a mid lane Lux, that's a support Lux. But I remember I caught some heat actually for saying this during GMA's last event, but I'm just gonna say it again. One thing about Lux is that she's a pretty simple champion. So it's the kind of thing where even if it's not really in somebody's champion pool, they can pick it up pretty quick, in my opinion.
She strikes me as one of those easy to learn, hard to master type of things. I will say, to your point, the ceiling for mastering her is lower for her than, let's say, one of the more ridiculously let's just say Aphelios. Like, the sort of the meme champion of why does your UI look so different and why does he have 10,000 abilities type of thing. But
yeah, that he can only use at certain points. Yeah, when I say Lux is a simple champion, I'm not trying to marginalize the abilities of anyone who pilots her well. I'm just saying that she doesn't have any of those mini games that a lot of the more recent champions have, where it's like she has one specific mechanic that no other champion utilizes that is specific to her that you have to think about with her. It's like skill shots, everything goes straight line and just hit it or dodge it. And that's the play pattern with Lux.
So if you're talking from a support perspective, I can agree with that to an extent, but I will say that the best Luxes are the ones that can weave in the auto attacks to proc the the passive ability to do additional damage. That to me would fall under a mini game, and I would like to call attention quickly that Pointy, former champion multiple times, split 6 was a monster on Jin, and I was really
Game
hoping.
5 on Jin.
Yeah,
Game 5 was on Jin.
Yep. So I'm very, very glad to see Jin coming out here. Jin with Zyra is a terrifying combination.
Good point. Yeah, absolutely. Zyra doesn't even have to land the root necessarily. You can start with the ult and then get the Jin root.
Or even if a
Zyra
plant
root
shoots
is
you.
free
Yeah.
afterward.
If one of the plants pokes you, that'll be enough too.
Yeah, so I like that bot lane combination, absolutely. Giovanni Yogurt hovering over the Lulu.
Interesting.
I apologize to the viewers. I know that we haven't really been talking about the bans because I was busy going off on a diatribe about Lux / apology tour. Anything in particular up there on that top row that stands out to you, Greg?
On the bans,
Yeah.
the Kled is a good ban.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I think it's safe to say at this point that's going to be Volibear top, which I don't think we've seen Foeden pull out before. Unless he's doing a Mumu top, which would be weird. Okay, he's not. Lulu top. It used to be a thing. Yeah, SOAS. We did see... oh, shoot. There's an Akshan. Yeah, I was about to say.
Akshan in the mid lane. That's... Okay.
That is not a fun lane for Lux. I've played that matchup. It is absolutely, coming down to skill, but immobile mages usually are not fans of Akshan.
Sure. I mean, I think that it's tough to play mage into an 80 carry mid, period.
Yeah, that's fair.
Pretty much any of the 80 carries that can go mid love playing against mages because, the mages pop their cooldowns, take 50% of your health, but then you just auto-attack them, and what are they going to do until their rotation comes back up. Eternal Source pulling out the tank up in the top lane, so giving them some beef, or in the case of Sejuani, pork.
I just realized that was a Sejuani top. That's new. I haven't seen that one before.
I've seen it played in pro play actually a couple times, I think. Maybe a little outdated. I'm always like a month behind. I still don't know who won MSI. Nobody tell me. But I know. But I do like this comp coming out of option 12 because the Zyra Jhin is just terrifying, and I think the Sejuani gives you enough frontline to keep them safe, at least long enough for them to do a ton of damage. Meanwhile, on the side of Team Phoenix, I think they have a more balanced comp.
They do. I think the issue that I take with Team Phoenix's comp, obviously Jinx, Lulu, that's fine. Tanks in the top, well, sort of a fighter tank in the top lane, a Mumu. The Lux feels a little off to me, personally.
Sure.
I think I'd prefer to have something like a Victor, something that has more consistent overtime damage, because Lux can burst you, but if she doesn't kill you in that burst, then what? Then you're relying entirely on the Jinx, and that's a lot of pressure on one player to do. Especially even though there's a Lulu, a pocket Lulu to protect the Jinx, not the most mobile champion in the world until she gets excited and starting running around like a lunatic. There's a lot of slows on the enemy team too, and the ability to root you.
Yeah, I know we're only 3 weeks in, but I've already become wary of saying a team lacks damage in their composition because we've had to eat our words a couple times there. But I would agree with you on the side of Team Phoenix that, yeah, it feels like you're putting a ton of eggs in Ooga Booga Queen's basket. And, if Primidon doesn't land a big laser at the start, doesn't land some crucial snares, or just doesn't get fed enough that the E does insane damage, then it gets tricky. Again, though, Sejuani is the only tank on the side of option 12, so you don't have quite as much to melt through. And if a Jinx gets excited and is relatively online, she can kill everybody but the Sejuani very quickly.
That's true. I think Princess Peach on Zyra, like the Rylays is going to be a must-have just for them to slow down that charge at them. Also, if we're talking about damage, let's not pretend like Foeden on...
Talk about damage? Sorry, go ahead.
I'm going to talk about damage. Foeden on Volibear is going to do a lot of damage. Let's just call it what it is. You put this. I suspect that Foeden could be a problem on pretty much any champion, but Volibear's not a true tank. He's not, your Scion, which again you don't even necessarily have to build true tank. Volibear does a lot of damage, and I think that we may be underselling how scary that team actually is as far as the damage profile goes.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair. I remember I said this last week as well. Volibear does deceptive amounts of damage. He just runs at you, just jumps at you, and just slaps you a bunch, and you're dead. And you're just like, wait, what? How? But yeah, that's a good point that you've made. That he's not really just a stand in the front and absorb you. Like he's coming for you. he's not just looking to buy time. He's looking to kill you, and he's fully capable of it, especially in the hands of a player like Foeden. Looking at skins here, Queen Elizabeth did pick that beautiful skin that you love so much, but I believe there was no Akshan skin, so, way to be frugal, Pistol Crab, who is not Tilted Pig.
You are correct. I do really like the combination on the Jinx and the Lulu skins. I've never seen Battle Cat Jinx before. I'm looking forward to that.
Battle Cat? I didn't actually see that one.
Yeah. I didn't even know that was a thing.
We could have an invade. They weren't spotted.
Please.
Did Queen Elizabeth just get spotted? Did Mixlink see him? I don't know if he saw him. He wouldn't have seen everybody else at least.
No, he wouldn't have. Hang on, I have to turn the chat off. There we go.
Giovanni, you better watch out. Oh, Giovanni would have just spotted. Well, they might have known Queen Elizabeth was already in that brush, but looks like they'll back off.
Yeah, that may have been more of an anti-invade type of deal.
Thank you, Option 12, for giving me something to look at for the first minute of the game. Now watch it backfires. Eternal Source takes a terrible trade up here in this top brush. Oh, it's going to happen, and everyone's going to be like, see, that's why you don't... Oh, no, Foeden actually just walks away from it.
This has the potential to be an insanely fast first clear by Queen Elizabeth here. Princess Peach with the plants plus the Jaboxes. This clear is going to go speedy.
The Jaboxes.
The Jaboxes. I had Giovanni yogurt half stuck in my mouth, and I just couldn't get it out.
The Giovanni yogurt boxes. I love it. Yeah, but absolutely a fair point. As long as Queen Elizabeth... Yeah, sorry, I was thinking it would be hilarious if Princess Peach actually stole blue or something with a plant, but there weren't any more. Primodan, yeah, lands the Lucent Singularity there onto Pistol Crab, but then Pistol Crab just turns around and shoots her a couple times.
Obnoxious poke coming out from the Zyra already.
Good ward from Giovanni Yogurt early at least, so you'll know where that Zyra is. Although it looks like they're about to be able to progress into the next brush. Foeden and Eternal Source, Brang, and Foeden with the early level 2 able to get a really, really great trade.
Yeah, I don't know much about the Volibear versus Sejuani top lane matchup, but I will say that...
Oh, nice. Deadly Flourish lands along with the root from Princess Peach. Booga Booga Queen doing a good job firing back. Health bar is relatively even, but Giovanni Yogurt is the one in dangerous territory. I'm sorry, to continue with your point, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd say I don't know much about this matchup, but it sure doesn't look like it favors the Sejuani at the moment.
I would imagine pretty much any Sejuani top matchup is predicated around just survive and get beefy, or porky.
Oh, the scoreboard's broken too. I just realized that. Man.
As is tradition, nice root from Princess Peach. There's the Deadly Flourish follow-up. The shield did come out from Giovanni Yogurt on time, but still an advantageous trade slightly in the favor of Option 12. The mid lane, we're seeing a little bit of a CS advantage already being stretched out by Pistol Crab.
Yeah, it's a hard lane for Lux. That was to be expected.
At least Akshan isn't Samira and doesn't have a wind wall as an AD carry. Queen Elizabeth coming in, sets the box down. Nice job.
Good snare.
Is huge. Oh, Booga Queen just barely able to get away from those grasping the roots, but Giovanni Yogurt also has to flash. Ignite came out. Everybody should survive, but 2 flashes and an exhaust having to be burned by the side of Team Phoenix. Excellent work. And it doesn't quite get there, and the Fountain Heal will keep Giovanni Yogurt alive. Oh my god, that Shiv followed forever. Meanwhile, Mixlink in the mid lane almost taking down Pistol Crab, who has to flash and swing away.
That was a very, very good attempt by Queen Elizabeth. That almost worked. It was so close. I'll pause because there's a brawl up top again, although it looks like Eternal's just going to run out of it. If that dagger had been a half second faster, that was a kill.
Yeah, I just checked the damage. I think it would have killed from that health, but the fact, even if the damage comes through right away, actually Mixlink caught a little bit by Eternal Saurus here, but yeah, Foeden is in position to cover. But yeah, even if the damage had been instant and, you know, the recall still goes through, which is not how things work, so I know that this is beside the point. But it was the Fountain Heal, because if that Shiv still just travels forever and eventually hits with the same health, it still kills.
Yeah.
But it took long enough to travel there that Giovanni Yogurt was able to get healed up by the fountain before it hit.
Yeah, and absolutely worth it for them. They got a lot of the summoner spells off of that. I'm honestly surprised there wasn't a kill there. That was knife's edge close.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to nitpick here, but I think if Princess Peach flashes for the follow-up route, then it's absolutely a kill on Ooga Booga Queen. But thought that he had time to walk up and hit the route, and Ooga Booga Queen just barely was able to get out from that chain CC because it looked like he was going to be locked down forever.
Princess Peach continuing to poke. It's a little hard to get the damage to stay on due to the
gank in the top lane, but looks like they don't actually want to commit to it. The bot lane, everybody's just firing off long range back and forth. Pistol Crab is here using that stealth from Akshan, but yeah, it does get found out. And now Akshan actually, I'm surprised that Mixlink and Primidon aren't looking to collapse down on this.
Me too, actually. You mentioned it, because they know that the Shaco is just top.
That looked so much potentially like that iconic TSM Reginald play, where he walks back to lane through the river and just gets everybody killed.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Look up the video, it's amazing. But anyway, nothing happens. We're still just chilling.
7 minutes in, no deaths. Although not for lack of trying. There's been good gank attempts in both sides, in 2 different lanes. Eternal, to your point, doing exactly what he needs to do in this suboptimal matchup, which is survive. He's getting a decent amount of farm. There is a disparity, but it's...
The CS advantage is pretty massive, though.
It is. But it could be worse. It could be a CS advantage and death.
Could even be a boat.
It could even be a boat.
Pointy is doing a solid job of sort of making up for that in the bot lane with a solid advantage, but also Mixlink with a sizable CS advantage in the jungle. Primidon able to land the snare, but has already thrown out the Lucent Singularity, so there isn't too much to follow up there. Does have the final spark, or the Finalis Funken. What did it used to be called? I miss it.
Finalis Funkeln or something like. Just call Final Spark.
I miss it. I miss that, and I miss Twitch's ult being called Spray and Pray.
As far as I'm concerned, it still is. I am not accepting arguments to the contrary at this time.
Gosh, between that and the Reginald reference, we're showing our age here, I guess. I was just thinking, oh, there comes the final spark. Pistol Crab taken pretty low. If he walks through that singularity, yeah, good discipline there. Knowing that the auto attack wasn't the danger, it was just the singularity you had to worry about. Eternal Saurus jumps in. Foeden actually takes the turret shot, but gets the shield back. Oh, he gets stunned under turret. This could be huge. The ult! Oh my god, Eternal Saurus is going to get a solo kill. Wow, what a play by the top laner of option 12.
That...
Got the ult out, got the flash out, just found the CC at the perfect moment where Foeden took a couple turret shots that I don't think he expected.
The flash away from the ult, but in a straight line, that's sort of a... I don't know if that was necessarily a missed flash so much as it's just unlucky. Getting hit by that after burning the flash is really unfortunate. He tried to get the ult off, but even then, I'm not convinced he's able to win that that fight. Really well done by Eternal.
Yeah, really, really good stuff. Just finding that CC at the perfect moment, because Foeden was doing a decent job of weaving in and out of turret aggro, but Eternal was able to stun him a couple times, or knock him up once, not stun him, but just at the perfect moment where he was just barely at the edge of turret range. And now option 12, they will go right to the Drake.
They should be able to...
Yeah, no teleports actually for
Whoa.
either top laner.
That's
yeah, game announcement.
Wow!
Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. I'm assuming that means that the final hit was from the Shaco clone. But that's a new one. Riot, what was that?
O12 game announcement, the newest member. I was thinking earlier though, before things started popping off, it's funny to imagine that I bet a lot of players in this game and a lot of players watching right now on Twitch probably never even watched a single TSM Reginald match.
Well, they know he's in the news lately for...
Looking nice use of the box. Primogen has to flash away from it.
Getting a flash for just appearing in a lane is 100% worth it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. I mean, Reggie's in the news these days, but not for good things. But
yeah, just like all of TSM.
But yeah, we are showing our age. We're league boomers.
Yeah.
Interesting to note
we might even be older than boomers in a relative sense.
I don't want to think about that.
We're the league greatest generation. That's what I'm gonna go with. Anyway, it sounded like you were actually about to make a substantive point.
I was gonna say it's interesting. The farm discrepancy that we had expected to be much more in Akshan's favor is actually in Lux's favor at the moment.
Yeah, good call there.
Interestingly, the farm difference between the Amumu and the Shaco is still present. Still a present discrepancy in the top lane as well. However, definitely not an insurmountable difference.
Yeah, and that kill really helps. It was first blood as well, so even an extra little bit of gold. There's the laser from Primogen. So much damage. The last auto follows him, and Primogen telling us all we don't know how that matchup works. Farm advantage, kill advantage. Gonna get a plate or two maybe as well with Queen Elizabeth showing up to help. Maybe we'll be able to stop that push. And to your point with that jungle CS discrepancy, if I'm not mistaken, that has actually shrunk a little bit from where it was.
Oh, that's a lot of damage.
Oh, here comes the Stranglethorns from Princess Peach. But Mixlink is there to answer, and Princess Peach could be in a lot of trouble. There's no help anywhere nearby. Elizabeth is in the mid lane, can't do anything. Princess Peach fails the flash, unfortunately. Something's coming out about it. And Pointy has to flash them all to safety. Curtain call coming out. Pointy looking for a little bit of answer at the end, but couldn't quite find it.
Yeah, that's just
undeterred by that last solo kill, continuing to shove hard here in the top lane. Will get that third plate.
So that was unfortunate timing. Queen Elizabeth had to cover mid basically from what she had been doing earlier after Crab had been killed, and as a result, she isn't able to rotate to help with that. Kind of an ambitious and forward play by Pointy and Princess Peach to be that far up. That said, they've had a pretty commanding hold on this lane, so I don't really fault them for giving it a shot. But sometimes a wild Amumu appears and things don't go your way.
Yeah, and even with that kill, between the CS advantage and the two plates that were just taken, Pointy will still have a gold advantage, I believe, on Ooga Booga Queen. And I love Pointy building these boots of swiftness. I think that that's always been the ideal boots on Jhin. Eternal Source and Foeden brawling over the Scuttle Crab. It will be the bear that take it. He don't care.
Ooh, bars.
And Primogen all of a sudden has amassed a really, really good chunk of an advantage here in the mid lane in terms of CS. Been so impressed with this guy since he's come back. This is his first GMA event in some time, since pre-COVID at least, which we all know lasted 8,000 years. And he has looked absolutely great.
So this top tower is looking... Oh, we got a little bit of damage now.
Yeah, Foeden continuing undeterred by that last kill. He continues to try to go in, just get those little trades under the tower in between turret shots, doing it really well there. As Mixlink is caught out by Pistol Crab, there's the Ignite, looking to shade towards
he does.
Dr. Primitin, but the ult will not be enough. Meanwhile, Foeden just running down Eternal Source, but Eternal Source will get away as the team starts to rotate up. Ooga Booga Queen and Giovanni Yogurt pushed under their tower again. No more plates to be taken. That just, well, it missed Pointy, but it caught Princess Peach on the backside.
Yeah, they just don't have the ability to follow up on it. There's so much damage coming out of that bot lane.
Yeah, this is just a survive and scale lane, in my opinion, for Ooga Booga Queen and Giovanni Yogurt, which is fine, because it's Jinx Lulu. If you make it to late game, you're feeling very, very happy. Little brawl up here in the top side. Primitin looking for the laser, and Queen Elizabeth is taken down real quick. So much damage out of that Lux. Directed camera, taking us down to bot lane. We will find Giovanni Yogurt eating a curtain call. Eternal Source is really low as well. Foeden gets a double kill, actually. That's followed up on the Elizabeth. And Pistol Crab has to flash away. Giovanni Yogurt and Ooga Booga Queen were able to survive as Mixlink showed up to help them through that curtain call, but Pointy and Princess Peach continuing to show their prowess here in the bot lane. Still, Team Phoenix with a 3,000 gold lead now.
It was a risky hail to go for. I understand why you go for it. I think as soon as the attempt is spotted, it's probably best to back out of that situation.
Yeah, it was close. You know, they were close to getting it down before Team Phoenix was able to come over, but it's just tricky when you are trying to make a play on a neutral objective without recall knowledge on the side of the map that you are losing. First turret goes down, Primitin takes it down, winning his lane almost solo. Really, really well done. And we see Foeden continuing to harass Eternal Source under his tower. $50 CS is the advantage now in the top lane, 30 CS in the mid lane.
Yeah, this tower is not long.
Eternal Source has caught him under tower again. There's the ult, but I don't think he has the damage this time. Will the shield come in? No! He gets another solo kill. The shield didn't quite land early enough for Foeden, and there was no ult available that time. Used it in that Rift Herald fight, so Eternal Source continues to punish the overreach. Meanwhile, they catch on to Ooga Booga Queen in the bot lane. Everybody's here, though, for Team Phoenix. They do take down the Jinx, but Princess Peach is in a lot of trouble. Nowhere to go. Actually, just going to look for a kill onto Primitin, which is a really good idea, but the shield is enough. No, it's not. Pistol Crab shows up, gets a double revive onto his teammates as well. And actually, that could be huge because if you're option 12, you can go right to Drake now because of that.
Yeah, that was a very, very clutch shutdown on the Akshan there. If they don't get that, suddenly you've lost complete control of that bot half of the map. Now, like you said, they're going to just go straight for that dragon. That tower is probably not long for the world either. And I just want to make note, Foeden, he has been a commanding force in this top lane, but... Oop, rocket coming through. But he flew a little bit too close to the sun there. His best Icarus impression did not pan out.
I mean, he's flown too close to the sun twice now.
That's true. The question will be which tower goes down first between top or bot, although I guess the mid one's already gone. Oh, yeah, never mind, answer that question.
Bot is gone, yep. But as you said, mid was already gone. Again, shout out Primitin, really winning that lane in impressive fashion. Nice banish shot from Mixlink. Princess Peach could be in a lot of trouble. The root comes out, but the Deadly Flourish actually didn't root him because there was no damage on him yet. Mixlink really low, but Pointy is out of shots. Finally gets enough, but it's not enough. Here comes Final Spark. Pointy, nice juke on that. Deadly Flourish comes out just kind of wildly looking, I think.
Why did you do that?
He did get Mixlink. Here comes the curtain call. We're watching top lane, though, because directed camera makes sense. They're using abilities. Foeden, looks like no one has died down in the bot side. Greg, if you want to show the bot side, that's fine.
Sure, I got it.
Show people what's going on, but I just don't want to cast something in that I'm personally not seeing. There's still stuff going on. Okay, I'm just switching.
You just gotta...
Pointy is taken really, really low. Primitin misses that snare. Boxes all over the place. Okay. Oh, the Mega Target from Ooga Booga Queen. finds Pointy at the very end of it. I can't believe how low the cooldown is on that, actually. We saw it just a moment ago for that attempted Dragon Seal. Now we're back over the top lane again. I think that we can actually watch it this time. Eternal Source looking for Foeden. Oh, can he get the Blast Cone? Foeden can't find it. Has to ult over the side. Eternal Source is chasing this. I'm not sure if he wants this just 1v1, though. Princess Peach has no way over the wall. Queen Elizabeth now coming over, but I think Foeden should be fine.
This game is wild.
It's a banger.
I don't really have any idea whose plan is working. I'm not entirely convinced they have plans. It is, however, wildly entertaining to watch.
That was the classic Jin sadness moment, though. Actually, they catch on to Foeden with the grasping roots, but teleport coming in from Primoden will deter any further chase. Yeah, that's one of the saddest things about Jin. Incredibly fun champion to play, but when you run out of shots and there's somebody in front of you with 10 health, and you just sort of have to stand there and wait for Whisper.
Yeah, it's sort of an awkward time there.
We all have many awkward times. Foeden just passing through the top side jungle, feeling very, very safe up there. And taking stock, the gold lead has not grown too much in the last few minutes. It was about 3,000 maybe 6-7 minutes ago. It's just over 3,500 now.
It is interesting to note that Volibear did go full tank. Sunfire Cape going into Spirit Visage. Just full
no,
on
he's got
tank.
a Doran's ring, man.
I suppose that's true. AP Volibear incoming.
That was a thing at some point, I feel like. Back before the rework. Anyway. Showing myself as a Greatest Generation member again. Option 12, yeah, are down 3,500 gold, but they have gotten both of those first two Drakes, which is always really nice because even if you don't necessarily get to continue to stack, you can trade that. You can get objectives elsewhere, you can recoup some of that gold, get some restitution with the standing turrets that you have missed out on so far. And that top turret is pretty low, so it wouldn't surprise me actually to see them decide right here, okay, we know we're down, let's just let Pistol Crab get a free turret.
Run, Princess Peach.
Could get caught out here. Nope. Foeden didn't want to chase it too hard, understandable. Grasping Roots come out, but not much damage. Leandry's picked up for Princess Peach, which I personally like. What are you thinking about that buy, though?
Leander's, I think, makes sense here. The burn damage is so intense, and
Oh, Queen Elizabeth is caught by Foeden, able to just use that deceive away. Zogaboga Queen will continue the chase. But it looks like the situation will diffuse. Pistol Crab has actually come down, so they didn't want to take that free turret in exchange. Drake is about to come up, though, and I don't think they're really in a position to chase Elizabeth taking solo. What a final score from Primitive across 4 members. Eternal Source tries to counter-engage, but there's just not enough. Princess Peach with the Stranglethorns over the side will not get enough done. There's the Akshan ultimate, but there will be no saving grace revives this time.
Yeah.
Excellent fight from Team Phoenix.
They were just too spread apart, and then the few characters, the few champs that got caught near the mid lane, they were too close together, so which was sort of ironic. They all lined up for that laser, perfectly hit, well done by Primoden, and yeah, like we saw the Zyra trying to throw spells over the wall, she just wasn't in the position for that fight at the time.
Yeah, and, you know, we do have double AD carry on the side of option 12, so eventually they will have a lot of damage, but I feel like right now they really don't have the ability to fire back.
Yeah, they're having a lot of difficulty dealing with the Volibear. They had he was pretty far up and ahead of his team, but they just don't have the damage to get rid of him and dodge the lasers and the binds and all the other things they're throwing at him.
Yeah, and Jin, again, like, such a unique AD carry. Not really a tank melter.
Akshan can do it, but he needs time, and as if I remember correctly, he wasn't even in position for that fight at the
Yeah,
time.
he was in the bot lane there, so it was just it was just Pointy and Elizabeth and Eternal Saurus who were in that corridor, and yeah, you're not going to kill a Volibear very quickly with that combination.
They do take top back, which is going to recoup some of that standing gold, like you mentioned, and they're doing a lot of damage to mid.
Well.
Yeah.
They might also overstay. Nope, they're going to back off in time. Wheelbear gets some, or excuse me, Princess Peach gets some good damage down onto Dr. Primogen. I jumped the gun on the succession there. The princess is not the queen yet.
Yeah, those plants in those boxes are not doing a whole lot to that bear.
And they are both Leandries as well, actually. Queen Elizabeth building that item. So they are looking to just chip away. Put some dots on the side of Team Phoenix. But yeah, as you said, if that's Foe Eden walking into them, it's not going to last too much. Eternal Source flashes in looking for the stun. But what a turnaround from Dr. Primogen, just takes Pointy completely out of the fight. Eternal Source is all alone. There's no help. Ooga Booga Queen takes down Queen Elizabeth, has the resets, melts the pig as well, and it's a 3-for-1 as option 12. They went for the fight. They wanted it, but they were incorrect to go for it, in my opinion. Eternal Source, or excuse me, Foe Eden looking to chase down Pistol Crab. I don't think he'll be able to catch him, but he's just zoning him away from this mid turret while the rest of his team shoves down mid lane. Could be an inhibitor here, potentially.
Yeah, that's a little rough. I see what Eternal was going for there, going for the flash and getting the engage. I almost would have preferred to see the flash instantly into the ult. Probably better off to get that initiate to occur correctly. And unfortunately, I think the rest of the team just either wasn't ready for it, or they couldn't catch up to the speed of the Sejanni, because it did not pan out for them in the team fight.
Yeah, again, I just think that there's, that's that lack of damage. If you start a fight like that, you need to be able to zero out whoever you hit the ult on.
Yeah.
And first of all, yeah, I agree with you that ult could have come out earlier. They were able to gain some distance. But even if they didn't, I don't think that option 12 had the tools to completely burst anybody immediately.
No, I suppose not at this point. And at this point, you start to wonder, well, what is the strategy here? How do you come back into it? I mean, personally, the Jinx at this point is fully and completely online. She's 6-1. Down in farm, but that doesn't matter at this point. There's really not an easy way, especially since there's a Lulu ult that can go on top of it, to burst her down either. And that's if you can even reach her. Usually there's a Volibear in your face.
The Volibear and the Amumu. And I love what Primogen did in that fight. The initiation came in on one side of mid lane, but he just looked on the other side, caught Pointy with a light binding. And that's one of the reasons that there was so little damage follow-up, is because Pointy had to immediately retreat after getting hit by that. Got taken down to about 20% health before he was able to fire off a single shot. So option 12, they will look for this Drake, which absolutely makes sense. That's sort of their best win condition at this point, is to somehow find a way to get to this soul. But they're so far behind in gold now that I'm not sure, unless you can find some miracle pick, how you win these fights.
Yeah, that's a very...
Tax onto Giovanni Yogurt, but that's fine. And Foe Eden is just going to pull the trigger. He's just running in at him. Big shield. There's the final spark. Doesn't actually head in anyone, but Foe Eden is in the backside, just completely taking Pointy out of the fight. Queen Elizabeth in the backside gets taken down. The clone is still alive, but that's not going to do too much. Mixlink goes down. Eternal Source drops as well. Pointy is just having so much trouble dealing with Foe Eden. Yeah, there's just nothing you can do as an AD carry in this situation. Pistol Crab has to flash over the wall. Princess Peach left alone. The zap doesn't quite land, but I think Ooga Queen will eventually run this down. Actually, no. They're just going to be willing to take the Drake, let Princess Peach go back home and tell the story of the dragon fight.
Yeah, the Jhin into the very tanky Volibear is becoming a significant issue. There's no way for that champion to chunk out the bear enough to get rid of it. And they don't really have another champion that can do that at the moment. Akshan can kite him for basically ever, but that doesn't matter if he doesn't chase you.
Yeah, I think that was a really good job by Foeden. That fight sort of started in a weird way, and then you had the final spark that actually didn't hit anyone, but it forced everyone to split to opposite sides of the river, and then Foeden immediately saw that he had Pointy and Queen Elizabeth alone on the top side of the river, and just ran at him, just understanding that without help, those two could not do anything about him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the fights over objectives are going to be very problematic for Option 12. They don't really have a particularly good teamfighting comp. They have pieces of a good teamfighting comp. But
they are discovered.
Yeah, that the jig is up there. Except that the funny thing is I don't know if they realize that they've been spotted, but it's just tough because there's so many different combat tricks in a team fight that Team Phoenix can use, and there's only a handful that you can pull off with the Option 12 lineup right now.
Yeah, and the situation's dire for Option 12 right now, because even if you manage to survive the Foeden dive, you don't get tagged by Primidon's skill shots, you still have to find a way to kill an 8-1 and 3 Jinx with a pocket Lulu.
Yeah. I mean, I think that your best bet is to try to go for a pick or something like that, but if they position correctly, you may not get that opportunity, and that doesn't help you on the objective fights where you are going to be funneling into one location.
Absolutely. And it's huge that Option 12, I mean, props to them for being able to get those first 2 Drakes, because if even one of those hadn't gone their way, you got Phoenix sitting on Soul Point right now, and I don't think there's any way Option 12 pegs it back to the point where they'd be able to take a neutral fight for this next dragon. I think that they need to be thinking about 12 minutes out as opposed to 6 minutes out.
All right. That laser hurts a lot at this point. Pointy taking a half.
Yeah, I believe it's only about a 30-second cooldown right now as well, so very scary stuff from Dr. Primidon. The PhD is really paying off right now. Oh, now he's got a blue buff. It's gonna get even crazier. So right now, if you're Team Phoenix, I mean, you've been winning these fights very decisively for about the last 15 minutes, it seems like. I almost feel like Team Phoenix is playing this a little too slow for my taste.
I'm inclined to agree. They could have pulled the trigger on this. They could force a Baron fight, for example, because like you mentioned, they've been winning all of these team fights. They're a better team fighting team. They can either bait it, or they can actually full on do it and pull off if they show up. Like, it doesn't seem to me like they're being particularly proactive with the lead that they have at the moment.
Foeden could get caught out here, though. Every member of Option 12 is up here. They get the initial stun down onto Foeden. Will the Deadly Flourish land? That will be key, I think. Foeden turns around. I think he knows he's dead. Will go down. Nice damage from Princess Peach onto the backline in the jungle, though. Ooh. So there will be no response from the side of Option 12. Here comes Curtain Call, actually. Pointy looking for more, but everybody gets out of range. Mountain Drake in 46 seconds. Foeden does have teleport, which means he will be able to contest that fight.
Little picks like that is what they need. They need to be able to kind of claw back some of these losses they've been taking. Little things like that. I wouldn't say that's a little thing. Killing that.
They're going right to Baron, actually. Still 20 seconds on Foeden. Final Spark is available for Primidon, though, so this could get very, very scary. They land a root on a Mixling. A little bit of chip damage from Princess Peach on the side. Good juke on the zap. There's a box from Shaco. It's Queen Elizabeth tanking the Baron, which I'm not sure is the right decision. And yeah, goes down so quickly to the final spark. Mixlink is somehow still alive. Been sitting on about 50 health for about 3 minutes. They finally get him. Pointy looking for a good book of Queen and got him. Big time play from the AD carry. Here comes Foeden, though. Can the 2 marksmen take down this bear? Survive the wilderness. Eternal Saurus is back. Was able to recall with the teleport, but
Oh my
Foeden
god.
has the cooldowns, the flashes, the dashes, the bear slabs, Eternal Saurus. It's a battle of the animals right now, and Foeden's healing so much. The shield comes down, and Eternal Saurus might pay for those solo kills now. Foeden is gonna get this down as my cat knocks over a lamp. I think Eternal Saurus might be able to get away. What the hell just happened? Who did that? Anyway, no Baron taken. Very even fight actually for option 12. You're probably feeling okay with how that one went overall.
It was a bit of a mess, but it didn't go as badly as a lot of these team fights have been. I think they could have played it a little bit differently. They could have either full-on pulled off, I think, of the Baron and had a much better fight. They could have had the Sejuani tanking the Baron a bit more, so Queen Elizabeth didn't die and have the smite up. So that could have gone differently as well. I don't recall if she smited for health. That also could have potentially made a difference, so then obviously then you don't have the execute that you might need.
Yeah.
But yeah, no Baron taken overall, so like honestly, probably call that a win, although this Dragon's definitely not going to be able to get stolen away, I don't think.
Yeah, good job by Team Phoenix there. Undeterred, coming right back out of the fountain after that fight and just going straight to the dragon, still knowing you have a solid advantage in these engagements.
I'm going to try to fix this clock again because it keeps freezing on me. We lose a second or two every time.
Foeden running right at Pointy. Gale forces away. Meanwhile, they catch on to Eternal Source on the side, and this Sejuani is not quite tanking up. Oh, but unfortunately, the rest of the team has been baited in. What a turn. What a job. They immediately catch on to Pointy and Princess Peach. That's so much of the damage gone. Elizabeth gets tagged by the zap. Looks like she will be able to get away for now, but it's still going to be a 5v3 on the turret. Mixling jumps in with the bandage shot. Turret is gone. There's no more protection. Queen Elizabeth is going to drop as well. Mega Death Rocket gets one more. Could be an unofficial penta here. Nope, Foeden takes that one away, but that should still be the game. They have a wave coming up any second now. Akshan Ult will not find its mark. First turret goes down. They're melting so quickly, and a really impressive performance here from Team Phoenix as they will move to 2-1 and tie for the top of the standings.
Really, really well played. That is a well-deserved top of the standings position for them. Really looking forward to seeing how this plays out as the season continues on. Let's take a look at some score. I doubt we have stats.
Stats and stats and stats.
Yeah, the Jinx unsurprisingly did the most damage, although second place was the Volibear. Actually, no, technically... No, yes, Volibear did more damage than the Zyra. It was close,
yeah.
But... yeah.
Alright, yeah, well played by Team Phoenix there. Let's see. What do you think? You want to get, Ooga Booga Queen in here?
Sure.
Alright, let's go. Hey, Ooga Booga Queen, congrats on the win.
Thank you, thank you.
Greg, do you want to start us off this time?
Sure. So, it's interesting to me that I don't think there's a lot of bot lanes that go with the more enchanterish supports, like the Jannas and the Lulus of the world. Yet you two, between yourself and Giovanni Yogurt, have really adopted that playstyle. Could you tell me a little bit about why you guys kind of lean into that and what you think is working for you with that strategy?
I honestly think it's more of like a comfort. We don't want to put him on something that he's not comfortable with, and we're both really comfortable with him on the enchanters. So it works well with how I play, and I just say let's keep it going. It's working so far.
I mean, clearly the results speak for themselves, right? So.
Awesome. Now, this is, if I'm not mistaken, your first time playing with us here in a GMA event. It's a little bit different than the kind of stuff we've done in the past. We've only got 5 weeks of matches before we determine who's in the finals. You guys are currently now, after that win, tied for the top of the standings, but you know it's very close. I believe it's a 3-way tie at 2-1. So you talk a little bit about the pressure of, just knowing that every match could determine whether you end up first or fourth or something like that?
Yeah, I think that we kind of just tried to not think about that much, and we told ourselves from the beginning we were going to play slow. We knew we could scale, and we just thought about winning this game and not looking at the future matches. Well, I think that worked for us tonight.
Well, the results certainly seem to back you up on that. You got anything else, Greg?
Nope, just congratulations, well played, and looking forward to next week.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for joining us. All right, folks. Well, that wraps us up here in week 3 of Overlord Prowler's Round Robin. Got the standings starting to separate themselves a little bit here, but still a number of teams clustered at the top of the standings, so nothing decided yet. We'll see who eventually earns those coveted finals spots. Any closing thoughts, Greg?
No, just I enjoyed the games. I'm looking forward to seeing more of it, and well played to all of our competitors tonight.
All right, let's go find out if this lamp is broken. That's all I've got to sign off on, folks. Have a good night. Thank you for joining us here with this event, GMA Gaming. We're always pleased to have any viewership. You guys are great. We will be back at the same time next week with more matches, 3 more to be exact. Until then, hope the week goes great for you.